No, Grindr.
That's where I was confused, sir. I run events for Grindr. That's just cottaging, isn't it? That's just... I run events mainly in public toilets. Oh, that's good, that's good. Grind's they're a coffee place and you run events for them.
Yeah.
And how did you use this to commit crime?
Yeah, when I was like 15, I was skating and a couple of mates were just like spraying graffiti and we were...
Can I just pause you there? You're already very cool. Works for a coffee place, skateboarding at age 15. This guy right here, his name's Aaron, he's got a slight American accent, despite being from London. This guy is pretty swish. And please continue. So there's some people skateboarding, people doing graffiti.
Yeah, they were spraying graffiti in Stratford. Like I was there, so they just all sweeped us up in the bully van, and yeah, I got arrested.
And it was just, you're saying it was a case of wrong place, wrong time?
I mean, I was with them, so yeah.
You were with them, did you?
I didn't spray myself, but I was like right there, so it looked bad.
He's enabled, he's an enabler.
Yes, it often looks bad when you spray yourself. You may want to reconsider your wording there, Aaron. That is a crime in a public place. Very good. Has anybody else ever been arrested? Obviously keep it light if it's something terrible. I've murdered a boy! That's not really what we're looking for, team. Even if you have murdered a boy, you're very welcome, provided you're a good jury member, because you will be performing the role of the jury, so when we get people up to chat to them, we'll have a chat to them. We have a fantastic prosecution in Vic Slayton. Round of applause for Vic Slayton. Rachel Krieger is our fantastic defence lawyer. And well, Rachel is working for you, and Vix is working to send you down. Vix, how would you describe your approach?
I take a hard line on justice, grape-faced variety, so I'll be drinking the juice of Veritas this evening. You can't be bought. If you were, it's Pinot Grigio, I'm just saying.
I can't be bought, but I am a cheap date. Very good, Vix. There's a microphone available to you.
Second cheapest.
There we go. Rachel.
Never house.
I am a Jewish mother, and for tonight you are all my children. And if there's one thing I know how to do, it's to push my kids forward and keep them safe.
Oh.
You're all in great hands.
The whole audience immediately is, oh, what a wonderful woman. Thank you very much again, Rachel. There is a microphone available to you. I think we'll get on to the first charge, everybody. Sarah, age 27. If you are here, Sarah, please stand up for me, please. Sarah, you will be with Thomas. Hello there, Sarah. Sarah, what do you do for a living, Sarah?
I'm an IT consultant.
You're an IT consultant. What sort of IT do you consult on?
A benefits management program.
Benefits management?
Program, yeah.
What sort of benefits?
Employee benefits.
Okay. What sort of employee benefits?
Medical insurance, dental insurance.
Sorry. You have been accused by Thomas, who I presume is sat next to you. Is that you, Thomas?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, overconfident, already don't like him. Yeah, that's me. There's a real swagger of men on this side of the room. I was like, yeah, I was just skateboarding more of it, and the cops took me down. No, such is life. Yeah, that's me. I'm right here. What do you do for a living, Thomas?
Well, I work in financial data.
You work in financial data. Wow, the conversations about work in your flat must be scintillating. Sarah, you've been accused of bringing toxic and dangerous creatures into a habitual dwelling. Is what you've been accused of. The evidence of which is countless plants infested with flies and creepy crawlies. We're going to give Sarah a round of applause as you make your way to the stand, please, Sarah. Countless plants infested with flies and creepy crawlies. Any other important information about the accused? Loves plants more than most human beings. Thinks we live in a scene from Peter Rabbit, not London. Sarah, how many plants do you have? If you could speak to the microphone, please, Sarah.
I mean, I think by now I'm nearly 50.
50 plants?
Getting there.
Did you hear the gasps of shock from the jury. This woman lives in a... do you live in a flat? Do you live in a house? What are your living arrangements?
We live in a flat, yeah.
You live in a flat?
Yeah.
Is it a 2-bed flat?
It's a 3-bed flat.
It's a 3-bed flat, okay, so it's you and Thomas in one room and 2 rooms just for the plants.
We do have a balcony though, in my defense. A small one.
You've got a small balcony in your defence, which presumably is full of flowers and things like that. Sarah, why do you like plants so much?
They bring joy, happiness, and fresh air.
Bring joy, happiness, and fresh air.
Yeah, we're living in London after all, so there's a lot of cars, they collect all the toxics, and yeah.
Okay.
Fresh air at home.
Pretty sterling defence so far. But, insects. Thomas, how have these insects used the plants as a vehicle to get into the dwelling?
I have no idea. I think one plant was infested when it came,
Mm-hmm.
and they reproduce like flies. And they're everywhere now. And the only option is to just get rid of them, the plants. Because we've tried everything else, and these are like tiny, tiny specks that just stay on walls, stay all over, and you might even swallow them while you're having a cup of beer or something, cup of tea, and...
I wouldn't know, because I tend to look in what I'm drinking before I drink it. I love the idea of Thomas sat at home going, this beer's a bit lumpy, there's a wing there, there's a leg there. So it's tiny little flies, is it?
Yeah.
Tiny little flies.
Microscopic. Really
Microscopic?
Not so microscopic, but when they gang up together, they stop being microscopic. So, but yeah, on their own, they're like.
When they gang up together, they stop being microscopic. So they are completely unreadable to the human eye. But when there's, say, 3 of them together, you go, oh look, flies.
The thing is, when you're focusing on them, they stop being that small and they start becoming larger than life.
Thomas, I'm going to ask you a question now, and I want you to bear in mind that you're in a court of law. Are you currently on any hallucinogenics? Because staring at insects that get bigger that you couldn't originally see sounds to me... When you say you brought a lot of plants into the flat, what sort of produce are we talking here? I mean, Sarah, you don't strike me as someone who likes a big fat zoot of an evening, but maybe you do. Are you a regular marijuana user, Sarah?
No, I'm not.
Hold on, I forgot to swear you in because it is a court of law and you have to make sure you are telling the truth. This is Mao's Little Red Book. If you put your hand on the Little Red Book, please, and say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me, Mao.
I already forgot.
Okay, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me, Mao.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me,
Man?
Mao. Mao, very good, with assistance. Do you smoke weed, yes or no?
No.
Say again, louder.
No,
Do you?
I don't.
Damn it, I thought I was going to crack her then.
Mushrooms.
Excellent. Do you smoke mushrooms, yes or no?
Drink it, eat it. It's everything.
We'll get to your drug use in a minute.
You've become an expert witness.
We'll come to you in just a second. So, did you not clean any of these plants before you put them around the flat?
I mean, to be very honest, I'm not the problem here.
Ooh. And now, we get to the meat of the matter. What are you pretending is Thomas's problem?
Well, the flies actually came from his sister's plants that I was babysitting.
I thought you were going to say the flies came from his sister. She stinks. She's a filthy bitch, and she brought them all in. They came from his sister's plants.
Yeah, I was babysitting her plants for Christmas.
You were babysitting her plants.
That sounds way too like a human relationship style, babysitting plants. Like.
Listen, you've got a very strange relationship. You've got very boring jobs. I can imagine that just sitting down and watching a plant grow would be more interesting than talking about what either of you two do for a living. So I understand that. So you're contesting that they came from the sister's plants.
Yeah, definitely.
And why do you think she gave you a poisoned chalice?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't like me. I don't know. No.
Have you ever had any personal disagreements with this woman, Sam?
No. I mean, to be fair, we knew the flies were coming in because she had like little stickers on her plants and they were full of flies.
She had stickers full of flies on her plants.
She had stickers with flies on the stickers.
What? She had stickers with flies on the stickers. So she bought a plant, and on it had stickers saying, "Does contain flies." And she went, "I'll give that to Sarah and Thomas, that's a good present."
No, that's actually a way of getting rid of the flies. So you put some yellow stickers in your plants and the flies get stuck on the stickers.
It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Ah!
Do you mean fly paper?
Yes.
Just joking.
It's not a deterrent, it's, you know,
It kills them.
Capture
chocolate
traps.
for flies. You know.
It's like a fly catcher.
It's a guillotine for flies.
We've heard a lot of evidence. And the charge, I suppose, is creating an well, if you're bringing pests into a flat that you two live together, really pests, as we know, can carry disease. Flies can carry disease. They are on corpses, for God's sake. And you've brought a fly-infested plant into the flat with your poor partner, Thomas. So, given the disease and the risk elements, I'm going to call this attempted murder. You're on trial for. Vic Slayton, the charge is attempted murder. Please present the prosecution.
Sarah, now you've already said that you don't like Thomas's sister-in-law. And you have blamed Thomas's sister-in-law for bringing in a festering lesion of insects. So there is an argument here that maybe you are trying to frame Thomas's sister ahead of some kind of heinous crime. You are technically a HR person. She said it was IT. We all know HR people, enemy of the working man. To quote my learned expert, my father.
HR people are the enemy of the working man.
That is my father's a scholar and also an IT consultant, so he's an authority on this. I think I can say that with conviction. I would like to call an expert witness.
We do have our drug expert on hand. Drug experts, could you please stand for me, please? Drug expert, what is your name?
Farida.
Farida?
Farida.
Farida. No, Farida. Farida, what is your expertise on the dark arts of drug use?
Minimal. You seem to know quite a lot about the hallucinogenic properties of plants.
I've tried mushrooms before, yeah, in the past.
So what some would say you're an expert witness.
Not really. Actually, it had no effect on me, so I was kind of like, oh.
Farida is impervious to drugs.
This half of the room is the most confident group of people. Yeah, I got arrested in the police and it's absolutely fine. I took mushrooms. Yeah, no, it's fine. Everybody's talking about hallucination, they're just a bunch of pussies. Well done you, my friend. Sorry, prosecution.
I just don't know what to do with this reprobate side of the jury, Your Honour. It's a lot of criminal masterminds on this side. So, Thomas, do you feel safe where you are? Because obviously you don't feel safe in your own home anymore because of the actions of Sarah, who has brought upon us, post-COVID, a second plague specifically to your home. Now, is this a woman that you care about, Thomas? Answer quicker, Thomas. Answer better, Thomas.
Well, this is a safe place, because we're outside of the house.
Yes, you are safe here, Thomas. Eventually we will go back to your fly-infested flat.
I mean, the witness is clearly intimidated, Your Honour. He can't even speak freely in front of somebody.
This is very good. Watch and learn, motherfuckers. She is spinning an absolute yarn here.
This is terrifying. This is a terrifying thing. He's been made a prisoner in his own home by a plague of plants that may or may not have hallucinogenic properties that he's not being aware of. She's bringing them in, unsolicited. By your own admission, you've got a small balcony, but you won't let him on it. You've blocked it with plants. What are we to think of other than you are trying to kill this man? Would the flat be a nicer flat and a more spacious flat without Thomas's stuff in, Sarah?
I mean, if they have hallucinogenics, tell me. I might be interested.
It might explain why the flies are growing and shrinking before his eyes, despite him not. Look, he's a man of upstanding character. This is not
I wouldn't say that.
drugs.
Oh, he didn't take an oath, though, to be fair.
An overdose of plants?
An oath.
To tell the truth.
Do you know who didn't take an oath, Your Honour? Sarah. Sarah flirted her way out of taking a proper oath by giggling and getting it wrong just by accident. Oh, is it man? Is it Mo?
Are you saying that was a deliberate ploy?
I think it could be. This is a cold-hearted killer, paying no attention to his sunny disposition and his supposed care of caring about oxygen and plants and happy life. There is one person she needs to keep happy in her home, and it is Thomas. Thomas pays presumably half of the rent tax.
I would also just add to make possible perjury to this accusation as well.
And what is the possible perjury, Thomas?
She's lying on the stand.
Oh, you're just piling in on it. That's what you fucking go for it, mate. Don't worry about that.
This is the only place he really feels he can speak freely. Thomas has been incredibly brave tonight, and if you do not make the right decision, who knows what's going to happen to it? Who knows? The decision is up to you, jury. Make the right choice. Let's protect Thomas.
The case for the prosecution, everybody. Round of applause. So you've increased the charge from attempted murder to domestic violence in this comedy show. Rachel Krieger, defence.
Thomas, how long have you two been together?
4.5 years?
Do you agree?
I do agree with that.
It's always
yeah.
worth checking when it's a couple. 4.5 years. 4.5 years. Let's all hold that in our minds for a moment, because what we have here in Sarah, at only 27, is a wonderful, warm, giving human being. And the evidence is before us, because she spends her whole time ensuring that employees have benefits. And if there's one thing that we know everyone needs, particularly after the last 2 years, it's benefits. The queues have been very, very long for those. And not only that, but she's a consultant. Anyone can be a doctor. My mother would be so proud of you. A consultant, Nina Horror. That's Yiddish for great. Bringing toxic and dangerous creatures into the habitual dwelling was the accusation of our lovely Sarah here. And so far, the one fact we've garnered about the plants that have been creating this problem is that they came in via your sister.
Objection, Judge, that was an allegation from the defence. So that has not been proven in this court.
We can prove it. Thomas, did they come from the plant that your sister gave you?
Possibly. It's very hard to trace, though, the origination.
But you didn't concur.
Possible. I'll take possible.
I read lots of legal words on the way here.
Just words.
You did concur, which I think is agreed, that they came with fly papers on them that had dead flies on them.
Yeah, one of them did.
One of them did. I see we're swaying you here with actual factual evidence. Also, we've just experienced, I don't know the time anymore because of COVID, how many years or months have passed, but we've had COP26. Was that the thing?
I think so.
Was it recent?
November 2021.
Who knows? It's like a whole, I don't know the times or dates anymore, but our whole world is focusing now on clean air and clean energy, and selflessly Sarah has not only taken to providing better oxygen for everyone who lives. Where do you live?
In Leighton.
Islington?
Leighton.
In Leighton. Sorry, I should have understood that. I am from Essex and I should have got the accent. Not only is Sarah committed to providing cleaner air for Leighton, which I think is a cause we can all really get behind, but when the abusive sister-in-law asked her to babysit her plants, like not even just to water them, not to pop in twice a day and put a jug of water in. Please will you babysit and nurture my plants? She agreed to have foster plants in her home on top of the plants she already had. I think what we're seeing here, people of the jury, is a true people's hero. And in her defence, she also has a balcony.
It is nice to have a balcony.
Well, it is very specifically something that she raised in her defence. I don't think there's anything else you need to hear from me. We had a drug expert give information I couldn't actually follow. We've had Thomas admit that he wouldn't be upset about this at all if things were hallucinogenic. We have one small added bit of information that has not been requested, but which I might provide if that's all right, Your Honour.
That's it.
These sound like fruit flies. All you need is a little cup of apple cider vinegar, they'll all go. That's what happens when it's a Jewish mother.
The defence, everybody, round of applause, please. So we've heard two cases, one for the prosecution which accuses you of domestic violence. Thanks for coming.
It happens to men too.
It certainly does keep it light. And Rachel, please turn your microphone on, Rachel.
It's on. But I didn't use it, which made it harder for the sound.
Yes. And you're painting this woman as a saint, as a saviour of both people and plants. Or, almost thought you were going to call her the people's princess at some point, painting her as a Lady Di figure.
I think it's too soon, Your Honour.
Well, jury, ultimately the decision is up to you. On the count of 3, I would like you to cheer if you think Sarah is guilty. 1, 2, 3.
Just Thomas.
Mainly just Thomas. If you think Sarah is not guilty, a cheer on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a pretty open and shut case there, Thomas. That is not guilty. Give Sarah a round of applause. Sarah, before you go. Thomas, for bringing a false accusation to this court, you have a challenge, which is you are going to be our courtroom artist. You need to give a caricature of the proceedings. So if you can pass these along to Thomas. A round of applause to Thomas, who's going to be our courtroom artist. I mean, considering all of the toxins pumping through his system, imagine the kind of hippy-dippy shit he's going to actually draw.
I think if Sarah gets a big enough cup of apple cider vinegar, she could sort out another pest, couldn't she? But it's not a legal suggestion.
Somebody in the jury went, Jerry. It's not, that's what you think of Judge Rinder, really. Is Emily Wilkinson here? Hello, Emily. Straight up there. You've been accused by Dominic, who I assume is sat next to you. There, Dominic. He's smiling so much for a man who's just accused, presumably his partner, of a crime. You've been accused, Emily. What do you do for a living?
I'm a high voltage course instructor for going.
One more time. Louder and slower.
High voltage course instructor.
For Go Ape. You're a Go Ape course instructor. It is a collection of the strangest people I've ever met. You accused Emily of trying to burn the house down when we were cooking. Was this on holiday? Or Dominic, was this on holiday or in the UK?
It was scary, yes.
And where were you on holiday, Dominic?
Selsey? It's like close to Portsmouth, about an hour.
Close to